Hey guys, welcome back. We have another perfect example of why the Pokemon community why we can't, this is why we can't have nice things, guys. Please, for the love of God, stop stealing stuff. Stop buying stolen stuff. Both of it, all of it is incredibly wrong. I don't know, it was so close. It was right there. These events were finishing up. It seemed like little to none were stolen from the people working there, from the print facilities, wherever else. We were right there. We were this close. And sure enough, now we have another example of an event. These exclusive promos, it doesn't matter what they are, how they are, everything gets ruined. We got Van Gogh got ruined. I don't know why the Pokemon company can't figure this out, why they can't put the necessary, it's like they don't learn event after event after event that they need to put. I mean, this one is a little bit less of their fault than it is. Well, no, we'll see why it's kind of their fault too. It's just a mess. It's just like, you can have fun exclusive things, but you need to put up the barricades. You need to make sure everything is legitimate. You can't make it too rare. You can't make it too hard to get. You can't make the lineups too long. You can't make it so the scalpers and the dalpers are fingering each other all the way through the line. They bring 69 of their friends. They hire some people to show up with them, that kind of thing. Or backdoor, or they backdoor this stuff. It's all there. The PokemonCenter.com or the US, the Canada, UK, whatever you want to, whichever one. It's all kind of the same site, but whichever one you want to go on, it's still an absolute disaster. It's still botted to all hell. The precautions they put in place on there are not helping. All it's doing is making it harder for actual people to purchase the stuff that they want to get. Whether or not they need to turn that into a lottery, they definitely need to do something. The website is an absolute disaster. Anytime anything of any desirability goes on there, it crashes into oblivion. We're not going to get into that too much, but it's just wild. Even in a time where Pokemon it's not crazy, nothing's going to the moon, we still have some thievy deevies, and we have some shout out to the sneakerheads who think it's okay to buy stolen goods. Personally, no, I don't think it's okay. I think with the staff cards, with all of that stuff, I think, at least for me, it's worth it to pay more. It's worth it to know that it wasn't something that was backdoored. It wasn't some game store that decided, instead of giving it to their employees that are supposed to get it, that they sell it, and that's why people are so secretive about it. Shout out to everyone that's in a paywall Discord that doesn't think that I can just pay the money to also get into the Discord and see exactly what they're doing and saying. But we'll take a look at that. Anyway, here's the event. We got the Poké Post, very wholesome thing where you show up, you get to take pictures with Pikachu and Eevee outside of the old Poké Post building. They give you 2 promos. They give you a Pikachu. They give you an Eevee. You keep one. You send one off to a friend. The most wholesome thing that Pokemon has probably done in quite some time. Very cool. Nice to see that people showed up. People had varying degrees of lineup. It seems like the UK had a lot of rain. I think it rains a lot there from what I'm told. I've never been. I'm still waiting for my invite. We got we got Poké Post London here. Okay, so we got the rain. We got some lineups. I think the London one was, I can't seem to find the video. There was one a video at nighttime where someone went from front to back of the line, and it was gigantic. Also raining, but you know what? It's a cool thing. Pretty cool. Here we go. We got the nighttime little shot here. We got quite a bit of action. Okay, this is the video. Never mind. We found it. It was just hidden amongst those posts. But there's a lot of people there. It seems like, I mean, maybe they should have had some music or entertainment or something for the lineup, but you know what? Worst case scenario, you wait a really long time. Hopefully everyone that was waiting a really long time actually got the promos, and they didn't end up at the tail end, and they're like, nope, sorry, we're closing up the Poké Post. No more promos. We ran out. Regardless, it seems like a pretty positive experience. We got to go. This was fairly quick, so they missed the massive queue. So it seems like if you were early, we have people suffering through the rain, but they got their promos. Steven here, apparently 15 minutes. That's pretty good. But I mean, it probably depends which location it was, when you went, and whether or not to be lined up. I don't know if there was any, maybe there were some days that were work days where you probably get through pretty quick because you probably should be working unless you work night shifts, which maybe that gave you a huge advantage. Now, we said the Pokemon company I don't know what their problem is, why they can't do this stuff. We saw it with the futsal stuff. It seems to be a lot of the UK stuff, a lot of the exclusive stuff where they just can't figure it out. Why can't they figure it out? I guess the Van Gogh, but it seems like anywhere outside of the US and Japan, we get a little bit of a nightmare, and it's probably because the people there they're hungry. They want their exclusive stuff. Exclusive stuff is fun, especially when it's paired to an event like this. Now, it's weird to me that you're going to go through, they're going to set all this stuff up, and the people that did go, whether it took them 15 minutes, they had to still get there, whether it took them an hour and a half, whether they stood there all friggin' day to get their Pikachu and Eevee, send one off to a friend. I would imagine a lot of people were probably sending it to themselves or to somebody that was just going to give it back to them because they want the pair. They went through that effort. So it's a little bit tone deaf if the Pokemon Company, regardless of how much that creator sucks their dick, it's kind of in bad taste to be giving them a bunch of copies to give out, whether it's for a razzle dazzle, whether it's for a givey wivey, whether there's no money being made involved whatsoever. It's kind of I don't know. I don't like this. Is it the worst thing that's ever happened? No, but it's a little bit tone deaf, the same way that like the futsal stuff, to like have the Eevee be an exclusive thing. Tell everyone that you only get the Eevee if you're a kid and you're playing in the futsal league. That's the only way you can get this bad boy. And then all of a sudden to just print a bunch of them. Yes, that would have screwed over the Stonk Dogger 69s the most. But even if somebody wanted one copy of that, if they're a Pikachu collector and they spent thousands of dollars, a couple $1,000s on that futsal Pikachu because they thought there was no other way to get it other than buying it from a child or their parent or their coach or whoever backdoored whatever they did, that's not good. It's not a good experience for the people involved. Even if it screws over the people that were trying to stonk dog it, and maybe that was their intention. Maybe they didn't realize. It's weird. Just releases like this in general. It's really weird that we have to. I don't know why. There's a lot of stuff that's involved. The Van Gogh stuff, like, it should be clear as day to the Pokemon Company. Even if they weren't the ones running it, they should be like, hey, heads up, museum. It is going to be an absolute shit show. If you don't put everything in place, if you don't have a queue, if you don't have people arriving at a certain time to be able to go through, or some kind of system involved, you're going to have people grabbing over top of each other, sack tapping, doing all the stuff they need to do to like get as many items as possible. And then the Pokemon Center Online, the fact that they just had like, it needs to be achievable, obtainable to some degree. I get it. With this stuff here, maybe you have to be in a certain country to get it. Sick. Those people can decide to sell their copies if they want to sell their copies. If they want to go to multiple of these events and wait in line and get a couple of them so they can have both copies and send 2 copies to their friend. Maybe they want to sell a set. Maybe they want to keep a set. To each their own, whatever they want to do. Maybe they want to trade it for something that they want more because they already have their 2 copies. But you can't, my God, the Van Gogh promos on the Pokemon Center, the way that they got blown out as fast as they did while the website was not working. We got to stay on track here. We're not talking about Van Gogh anymore. All right. So here we do. We got, what is this, French? We got French packs here. This is wild. So this is weird. And we got some backdoor action going on. We're going to take a look at what I think that backdoor action is. But first, we're going to give a little shout out to Vivian's Collectibles. Not necessarily Vivian himself, but Vivian's Discord, who I don't know what do you guys think it is that paywall Discords don't like Rattle Pokemon? Is it because there's fishy business going on in there? If you're buying stolen product, you probably don't like me. Because I'm going to say that you shouldn't. And no, it's not because the bobbies, whatever they have, is that what the cops are called in the UK, are going to show up to your door and take back your Pikachus? No, it's more to do with the fact that you're encouraging theft. The person that stole them is probably, I would say with almost certainty, going to get in trouble. We're going to take a look at that. But we have some Rattle haters in the Vivian Discord. Again, we're not going to blame Vivian for that. It's going to happen. You got a bunch of sneaker dogs in there who apparently don't see anything wrong with stolen stuff. That seems to be something that has come over from the sneaker community where they just don't give a shit. It's okay. Who cares? Let people steal the sneakers. Well, I care, and everyone should care, because the people that are stealing this stuff from their place of employment are running a ton of risk here. They're going to potentially lose their job. They're potentially breaking some NDAs. I mean, well, with the earlier stuff, especially like print facility, recycling facility, and stuff like that. But stealing from your place of employment is just a big no-no. It should be pretty obvious. I don't know why I need to explain that to people, but you should never steal from your place of employment. So whether or not they press charges, whether or not you lose your job, whether or not you get a criminal record for stealing from your place of employment, and you ruin the rest of your life. Because there's going to be some little notch there in the naughty list that says, hey, this dude is going to steal from his place of employment. I don't want to, I would never, why would I hire someone that has a record of stealing from their place of employment? If you own a business, is that on the top of your list? You're going to call up the place that they worked previously, ask for a recommendation, whether or not they're allowed to say, hey, yeah, well, he was a great worker, but he was just taking stuff home and selling it on eBay. Not to mention the fact that, like, I don't know, like, I get it. You need to sell these somehow. But the fact that you dump them all on eBay to the point that, like, clearly something's going on. This is one of the photos from the stolen cards. We have the eBay listing, which is now toasted, but here's what it looked like. We got Pikachu and Eevee Pokemon together promo cards, brand new in packet. Gone, nuked, account gone. So if you don't think that eBay knows your shipping information, your payment information that you had to use in order to receive funds from eBay from selling these bad boys, you get another thing coming. Not to mention the fact that if the authorities want to look into it, if the Pokemon company wants to look into it, they're going to be able to trace it back to you. You goofed up, you messed up. If you're going to be a criminal, try a little harder, because this is what we got here. So we got some communications here. We got a Jammy Dodger 2547 who says, it looks like you may have been in touch with, or this is eBay sending them a message. Jammy Dodger is getting a message from eBay. It says, it looks like you may have been in touch with Jewelero6926, and we want to let you know that some security concerns have come up with this account. Yeah, a whole bunch of stolen goods. We recommend taking some precautions to make sure your account stays secure. Here's what you should do. Stop all communication with Jewelero6926. Don't respond to their offers to buy or sell an item. Don't respond to requests to change your order or delivery information. Don't click on or copy paste any links they send you. If you send an item to Jewelero6926, contact the carrier. If you have it returned to you, if you sent payment outside eBay, you messed up. Anyway, this is mostly just a default, like, hey, the account is nuked. I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to guess. If I had to guess here, if I had to use my guessing skills, I would say that the Pokemon company probably contacted eBay, and they were like, hey, shut it down. This is stolen. And not to mention the fact that the authorities are now going to have information to all the payment methods and personal information that was used to create the account. Yeah. So, if you don't think they're in trouble for it, yeah, you got another thing coming. Is it likely that that authorities are going to show up to the locations where the stuff was sent out and retrieve those cards? Probably unlikely, but it wouldn't surprise me if they do, if they seize those goods. Again, guys, I know it's everyone's going to be like, oh, it's only cardboard, Rattle. It's only cardboard. Yeah, well, stolen goods are stolen goods. Money is only paper or plastic if you're in Canada or any of the other countries that switched over to weird plastic money. All right, so we got some Hey Man arrived today, only issue being that 8 Pikachus were German. So we got some German cards mixed in there. The eBay account was from the UK. Whether or not that was like a mix-up at the factory or something like that, maybe some German ones got mixed in there. They're plain as day different when you look at the attacks. I'll have a picture of those coming up. And Joro says, hi, could you send a picture of the cards, please? I'll send you some more if they are. Sorry about that. Would appreciate that. If you have more to sell, would buy more, so aren't buying extra shipping for one order. And Joro says, that's okay. So sorry about this. I've had to pause my listing to catch up with orders, but I'll get you your English card sent today. So supposedly there was 1,000 of these cards from what people are seeing, what we're seeing here in the copious amount that people were buying. He was only listing so many at a time, a limited amount at a time, probably to avoid being flagged. But it's still, I mean, you can only sell so many sets of these things before they're going to catch on to the fact, especially when you're selling them at a price that, like, in quantity. I'm not saying that someone couldn't potentially go out and buy a ton of these, but if they went out and bought a ton of these from people that actually obtained them in a legitimate way, they aren't selling them for the price that this guy was selling them at. And again, I don't know. It's not worth it. Don't support crime. Don't buy stolen goods. It shows a lot of character to avoid this stuff. And we're seeing the greasy people that are in it for a buck. Again, the private discords with the bots, with the Pokemon Center bots and stolen goods purchasing. It's like, it shows you what we're dealing with here. People are worried about scalpers and shit like that. If you're someone that's standing in the line here and you got a couple copies and you want to sell those, who cares? When you're buying stolen goods to flip them for money, when you're stealing the goods to flip them for money, you're gonna get yourself in trouble. Joro, hi, sorry about that. Keep them in. I'll send you 2 more Pikachu ones. So I don't know if this was like a different one, because he said he had 8. But again, regardless, there's lots of these. This is an unrelated post, just the German copies that you can see here that you can. They're pretty different, pretty clear as day. I mean, Pikachu is always Pikachu, so he's staying as Pikachu. But you would think you would notice the very German attacks on the old. We're not going to try to read that. We got Joro6926, the account here, location United Kingdom, and a member since May 2022. So not a brand new account, but not a big account. It could have been a burner account. It could have been a lot of things. I'd love to be able to go in and see what they were previously selling, if they just kind of bought the account or took the account or were selling something else and then got the stolen cards and decided, hey, let's stick these bad boys on there. Be careful who you buy from. Again, you could end up with a headache. You could end up with a really big headache if you're buying stolen stuff. These were released at the time, so there isn't as much of like an NDA, I guess, concern with this stuff. But like, still, you can't steal 1,000 promotional cards that should have went to people that were standing out that wanted to pick these up. I'm not sure exactly on the amount of times or how much. There was like, oh, we ran out of promos. Sorry, we'll be back, or if they had promos throughout the entire thing, and whether that was at every location. But here we have 10 cents. So he's selling them for 18 European dollars a piece. European dollarinos, my apologies. Quantity 5. So people picking up a mass numbers of these sets, multiple charges. You know who you are. I know who you are. And we got some show offs here. If you're a sneakerhead, you're gonna go ahead and post mean, sick, nasty pictures like this. You're gonna think Rattle Pokemon doesn't have access to these pictures, because there's no way he would ever spend $4.99 to go into a Discord and see this stuff. That would be too high budget. Here, and you just see countless copies of this stuff. And anyone that wants to claim that they didn't think this stuff was stolen, I mean, it's right in. It was told. It was apparently anyone that asked the person where he got them. He told them that he did get them. He told them that he did get them because his brother was working at the Poké Post. Whether or not it was the brother working at the Poké Post or it was him working at the Poké Post, that's kind of to be determined. But man, we were so close. And not that there weren't a couple or like smaller quantities backdoored, but like we didn't see anything like this. We almost made it. Here it says only 76 left, but again, he was like relisting as he went. So whether or not there was 40 available at a time or 76 or whatever, that's the whole thing. And it's weird that we have the picture with the box. I don't know if maybe that was a purchase. But we have mine came in what seemed like original cartons, also 50 fit perfectly in each, but no branding on carton. So it's pretty clear here. We got a Steely Manili, probably somebody that was working there, or a brother, and maybe they were gonna split it. That guy had a eBay account that was a year old, and thought like, hey, we can sell it through here. It was a bad idea. I mean, the whole thing was a bad idea. It's crazy to me that people still haven't learned that you shouldn't buy this stuff. We've seen it countless times. And I don't know. We hope that this is the time where the Pokemon Company is going to crack down. Again, they don't like to make public statements about this stuff. They did a little bit with the Fusion Strike stolen stuff, in terms of trying to let people know that, hey, it didn't impact the pull rates. It was stolen from preceding areas. But with something like this, it's a matter of time before someone gets really, really punished, like they did with the Sword and Shield guidebooks, with a lawsuit from the Pokemon Company. Who, I mean, at this point, is that what it's going to take? Like, and again, even though the person that stole these should have known better, I don't want to see someone that was making very little money ruin their life over something like this. And that's the biggest thing. People are going to be like, oh, you're jealous, Rattle. You didn't get, the cheap Poké Post cards. No, I don't care. I have my set for my set. They were obtained, from what I can tell. Again, if you accidentally buy something that was backdoored, or there's like basically no choice now with the Gold Star dogs, it's just like, if you buy like anything that's a near mint or better copy, like there's a pretty high chance they're going to be from those card house steely wheelies, allegedly steely wheelie copies, where it's just physically impossible for someone to have that many of them. And you know, we can put two and two together here, and that kind of ruined a set, essentially. That ruined a set of Gold Stars, but it also ruined the set itself. Here we have another instance of what should be like a wholesome, cool event and release. I mean, it's sucky for people that were outside of the areas that had them, or that couldn't make it. But at the same time, there's even without buying stolen copies, they're still pretty damn affordable, if it's something that you truly want. So that's all I got for today. Please, guys, please fuck off with the stealing. Fuck off with buying stolen goods. It's not good for anyone, and it's far worse than the sweaty dudes that put their shit, that go to Walmart and fill a cart. We don't have to deal with that anymore, but apparently we still have to deal with the sneaker deekers and the theft and buying of stolen goods. So that's all for today. Thanks very much for tuning in. Thanks for joining my Discord. Maybe the people from the paywall Discords don't like me because my Discord is free. By the way, if you want to do things the legitimate way, don't buy stolen goods. And if you're selling stuff, that's fine. Sell stuff if you want. Buy stuff if you want. Sell stuff if you want. You can promote your eBay for free. Don't sell stolen goods on the eBay. That's a no-no. But come on in. There's an eBay sell promotion where you can get, if you post something interesting, you'll get an extra 1,000 people that will see your listings. It's free. It supports the channel here. And it's all upfront and honest. Sick, nasty. Use it. Why not? But yeah, there's lots of ways to make money. There's lots of ways to make collecting affordable without turning to shady things. I think that's the moral of the story here.